The texture of this is surprisingly pleasing.
I like it because it's like eating a sponge that somebody used to clean up chocolate milk and then left out for a while.
Mm-hmm. Or just like a sponge.
Anything that you guys are excited about?
I'm excited about seeing the Xbox One and Microsoft surprising me. Hint, hint.
I mean, that's probably the most that can...
I hope they're listening to this and they have something specific for me.
I would have to assume Microsoft can't disappoint most people more. Like, they would really have to do something pretty untoward.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, not just have DRM, but bring out a DRM mascot and have him dance on stage.
And then accidentally...
At least then they'd be admitting something.
His pants fall off or something, and everyone just sees his genitals, and it's really offensive.
And it's like
animal?
What if they had a racist DRM mascot?
Okay, that would be more.
That would be pretty good. Like a Jar Jar Binks that's a DRM, like an Olympic mascot. Yeah, just really offensive. I mean, I think that I want to give Microsoft the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're really going to kill it at E3 just because they would really have to make a valiant effort to dig themselves a deeper hole. But it feels like they're one of those boyfriends that tries to do some really dramatic romantic thing that winds up just being a cruel prank about halfway through, and they have to work harder to kind of redeem themselves.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm excited to play both of these new machines.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing is we get new machines to play with.
I think just getting to hold the controllers, because the PlayStation controller is the one I'm most interested in because I am not a fan of the PS3 controller.
Yeah, same.
Mainly because the weight's not there, it just feels too light, and those sticks just don't do what I want them to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're ignorant of it, and even though they've kept the same fundamental shape, it even just looks from the photos that there's something more hefty.
I hope so. I don't know if that's a common thing that people think, that they don't like the DualShock 3 controllers. I mean, I personally hate them, but I wasn't aware that it was there was this whole hatred around them.
There's a group of people who I'm one of them that prefer the Xbox, the fact that you don't have the sticks on the same axis.
Yeah.
I think my brain just tends to think that way. Other
Same.
people, they've grown up with the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
And they want them, right
That's,
there and
I
lateral.
think where I am, but at the same time, after spending more time playing PS3 games than I'd had before, it's like I kind of got tired of it. I always like the lightness, I like the weight of it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I love that. I think that the 360 controller is way too heavy when it's got the battery pack in. Also, it's like the worst.
It helps you
I
build
like
those wonderful muscles you have.
It does. It also hurts that much more when you drop it on your foot, which has happened to me at least 12 times.
Not that I think this is going to be resolved at E3, but any indication that we might put less of a reliance upon pressing the stick in for running and other things in games.
God, isn't that
because
dumb?
that bruise you get right there in your thumb.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. Nothing that particular is going to be.
Yeah, I think there's probably bigger fish.
Now, do you think that we're going to get price and date from the new consoles?
I think we'll get price and date. Yeah, I do. I feel like unless they wanted to announce it on their own accord, this is the last big gaming event before the things come out. Obviously PAX is going to be too late,
And it's not a business event either.
Yeah, it's not a business event. I don't know. I would imagine that we would get it for at least one of them. Maybe the PS4, since it was announced a little bit earlier.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can kind of picture it, and they're going to be like, oh, there's also a bundle we're going to do for this. And then they do the weird, some other press conference, they're like, we're proud to announce the Assassin's Creed bundle or something, It's a white one. Maybe not this early. But
how much do you think we're going to hear the charming, it's a relatively new word, but release window? It's that hey, everything's a moving target.
Yeah.
And, you're going to get, oh my gosh, so many games in a 6-month period.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
We'll probably hear that a lot, yeah.
I'd rather hear that than hear about a lot of delays, I think that's always...
Yeah, but you never can tell because the Wii U, they said that about the Wii U when that was at E3 last year, and then it was our launch window is a year, by the way.
Speaking of the Wii U, I would really like to see some games from Nintendo. I feel like they've kind of been stringing us along here, and I feel like we gang up on them, and it's I would love to see, a new game or two. And they said that we're probably going to see some of those games, and God damn it, I hope they have something to show off to make me excited about Nintendo again.
I need them to not just show it off; they need to show it off playable. Like that, like it's actually being made somewhere, and it's not like, hey, Wind Waker could look like this.
Turbo Metroid.
Turbo, yeah.
I would play that game so much.
Nintendo's usually pretty good about that at E3, I think. Last year, it was like everything that they showed us, we could play.
Oh, yeah. All those levels of Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
And, the fantastic, the friendly 101.
The wonderful 101.
Yeah, and that one as well. I'm very interested to see how they try to pivot and become non-committal. This isn't just Nintendo. This is Sony, Microsoft as well. That, like, back to the idea of what that launch window indicates. They need to present with some certitude that this will be a significant launch with a software lineup at that launch that will, make this a compelling piece of hardware to buy, and not, hey, you can get this and you might be rewarded a little bit down the line, which. Not just from Nintendo. This is something that tends to happen year to year. I'm more interested to see how much learning Sony and Microsoft may have from those launches that occurred a very, very long time ago.
I hope Sony shows us the coolest game we've ever seen. I hope they get us really, really hyped up, but they're like showing off Destiny, and then right afterwards they're like, good news everybody, Wonder Book HD, and then they show us the next generation of Wonder Books for like 10 minutes, and all of us are just be like clawing our faces
and now
off
it's called
screaming.
Wonderful Books.
Yes.
and it's just, everyone's like, well, that's what it was. Having said that, there's all those games. There's 2 games I can think of that every year it's like, do you think we'll see it this year? And that's The Last Guardian. Do you think we'll see it? I know there's rumors going around that it's supposed to be there in some capacity based upon something in the E3 manual guide.
A watch pot never boils.
See that, yeah.
Yeah, you don't think we're gonna see it?
Yeah, usually when you want games like that to show up for a long time,
I'd like to see Prey 2. I'd like to see some Metal Gear Solid 5. I'd like to see some things I've never heard of that immediately interest me.
Well, do you think, the other one that's out there is Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I think is just this will-o'-the-wisp that is just a handful of diehard fans of the series are going to follow off a cliff into lava.
I feel like downloadable titles, I hope that they'll make a big appearance this year. I feel like Sony is kind of wising up to that, and they're going to have like a lot of indie stuff in their showcase. And I don't know with Microsoft, I really don't know what their downloadable offerings are.
Well, that whole indie issue is yet another thing that there's been mixed messaging on, how supportive they're going to be. Is it going to be the walled garden? Is it going to be the garden that no one tends to and has a lot of weeds and nasturtiums surrounding it? I agree with you. I would like to see a heavy investment from both consoles into that indie space and to the downloadable game space. But there's also the way in which they can really hype that up and not show that they're being responsible with a lot of major AAA titles. That really are. I'm beating this horse to death, but they've got to look like they know what they're doing at the console launch, and don't hope that by goodwill and maybe best effort basis that they're going to win people over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to have. Well, that's the thing. Like, they claim that they have all these exclusives, and we don't know how big they are. They could be like first games from some unknown developer or something.
And as I've said before, one of the things that happened when I was at G4 is we would call anything and everything exclusive because we probably wouldn't get that game demo with me in the shot.
Yeah.
It is a fungible word in every way, shape, and size.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are you feeling exclusive, Max?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm pretty much charging into this blindly. I'm really excited about E3 this year, but I'm also scared out of my shit. So, just like a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff to talk about.
I'm a little scared too.
I think that I'm kind of trying to pretend it's not going to happen. Then when it happens, I'm just like, we're at a video game thing, and then my hair catches fire, and I run around for 4 days. So.
Well, and the thing is, you can't keep it from happening, and you're going to be there. So relinquishing yourself to its majesty is probably one of the wisest ways to approach it.
Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah. Hope no one has TB.